So far has been amazing, has been fun because, well, I haven't seen the fans yet, but up to now, like, I just know that there will be a lot of people watching tennis because it is full capacity in a while. I know that the tennis fans are excited to see the Canadian girls, but also the other athletes who are doing great things. There's a lot of great names in the draw that are practicing, so it's just going to be an exciting week, and I'm sure everybody's just going to have some fun.
Next question. Leylah, you mentioned being excited to get back to competition and be on the courts. Can you talk a little bit about what the process has been like getting you to here since Roland Garros? And I know that you had that exhibition lined up and the DC tournament and stuff. So, how is the foot? Is the upshot?
The foot is great. It feels like a brand new foot. But since Roland Garros, it has been a roller coaster. With all my emotions, I was sad, heartbroken for a few days, and then I came back home, and then we got more bad news from the doctor saying that it is a stress fracture and that you should not be putting any weight on it. So for a couple of weeks, I was just hopping on one leg. Funny sight to see, but hopping on one leg, and then the other couple of weeks I was finally able to walk a little bit. It was a funny sensation, and the happiest moment was when I was able to take my boot off. That was when the doctor says, like, you can take your boot off, but you won't be able to be ready for the exhibition in DC. So it was happy for 5 seconds, sad for the next 20 minutes. But we've just been trying to accept the situation, and I think we've been doing a great job in understanding that this is a bad moment, but at least we're spending this bad moment as a family and seeing it as like kind of a silver lining. I was able to spend time with my family. I was able to watch a little bit more TV. I was also able to read more books, which, like, in the past, like, I was hard-headed and did not want to read books. But the past few weeks, I've been reading a few more books, and I've been enjoying it a lot. So that's definitely surprising. And then just a few days ago, when I did get the green light from my doctor, that was the best hour and a half of news that I could ever ask for. And I think, like I said, it was just a roller coaster, and I'm just excited to be back and happy to be back to compete.
Yep, Chico and Sean from the floor. Leylah, you're part of a group of young, talented players coming through, Iga, Coco, Emma, to name a few. What's it like to be competing alongside people similar age to yourself? And do you find that you guys are kind of motivating each other by seeing each other having success?
Definitely. We are motivated by each other's success, or just seeing how hard we train. I remember going through the juniors with both of these girls, with Emma too. Like, we've all gone through that little few years phase of going through the juniors, losing, and then coming back up, and then just following along from afar. I would see Coco doing amazing things, seeing Iga doing amazing things, and that definitely motivated me. Okay, I want to do exactly like that. I want to be part of that group of young girls, and hopefully motivate other young girls to do the same. So it's definitely been a great dynamic between all of us, between this group, because we see it as an opportunity to better the sport and to motivate other young girls to achieve their own dream. It doesn't necessarily mean tennis, but it also means in other professions. It can be soccer, it can be even in engineering, it can be whatever they decide to do.
Hey Leylah, Brendan McCarthy with the Slice. On the hard court last season, maple syrup fueled your success. Are you sticking with that for this year, or switching it up a little bit?
It's definitely maple syrup. We've been enjoying the maple syrup, but also a lot of Subway. A lot of Subway.
Love it. Question about that?
Yeah, I'm Gatron Observer. So the foot injury was one of your most significant injuries in pro career. What have you learned from yourself being away from the court? You said you watched a lot of TV, more reading books. So what have you learned about yourself and about your game being away from the court for a significant time?
I learned that I am very impatient. I thought I was going to be extremely patient and that I was gonna be able to take that time off and accept it. But in reality, I was just antsy. I was taking my racket. I was trying to wobble my way to the tennis court, and my dad would say no, don't do that. I would try every opportunity to hit a tennis ball, but it was not the right time. And I think that's what surprised me the most. But patience has definitely been key for me. And then once I accepted that this was going to take a while and that I just needed to hang up my rackets for a little bit, hide them in the closet, try not to look at them, it was one of those moments that I had to master, let's say.
Right. John Chilio from the Canadian Press, to follow my colleagues' questions there. You mentioned reading more books. What books?
Oh wow, so I've started this series of Girl Missing, so that was very interesting because I love true detective crimes, and that was part of it. And then afterwards, just recently I started a new book by Akihinsa. It's called The Core, and it's definitely been an eye-opener for me because that's his biography, his whole life and how he became this successful PT in the whole world. So it was just one of those books that I've enjoyed a lot.
Those true crime books are a little different than your career. How have they served you during this recovery time?
It was definitely a good distraction, let's say, because I've always liked thinking, and then while reading those true crime books or watching those shows, I always tried to solve the case before the show ends, before I finish the book. So most of the time I'm wrong, but it's it was just a fun process of going through it and just using a thinking process, using a process to try figuring things out, kind of the same way I would use on the tennis court, figuring out problems.
Leylah, Rachel Brady from the Globe and Mail. I wonder how different this trip to playing Toronto is compared to 2019. You were 16, just coming off Granby and Gatineau that summer. How was that different from the whirlwind you probably have here with so many obligations and starting on your time?
I think it's more that I grew up. 3 years is a lot, and I was just able to, how do I say this? Back then, I was just in awe seeing all these professionals. I remember just one moment, seeing Venus walking past me, and I'm OMG, Venus Williams just passed me. And then sharing the court with Simona Halep, I was nervous. I did not know how to talk to her, how to communicate with her, during doubles, but she definitely made it easier. So it was just one of those introductions to the tour. And right now I think I'm just enjoying my time a lot more, and instead of being so starstruck, I'm just happy to be back, happy to be competing. This is going to be a great week to start off the hardcore swing for me.
Last year, English.
Leylah, just from the outside, especially as you start your hardcore season and make your way towards New York, there's going to be a lot of expectations on you, spotlight and stuff. But for yourself, given what the last few weeks have been, what are your expectations for yourself, in Toronto, Cincinnati, and going into New York?
My expectations are high. My expectations have always been high. I think the one thing that's good about my team is that they know how to bring down my expectations, and And I think I'm just gonna try to enjoy my time on the tennis court, being back competing, and then second is to see how I feel physically and mentally. Because like practicing, I'm feeling great, I'm feeling happy, but a tennis match is a whole new world. So that's what we're going to see. We're going to take it match by match, point by point, and hopefully everything goes well, and that we can just get better tournament by tournament, and hopefully by the U.S. Open I'll be ready. But that's in a long time. So right now we're just going to focus on the National Bank Open.
Okay, in terms of, I'm not sure if you've seen Drive to Survive, the Netflix docu-series, but tennis is going to have its own this year. What do you hope that fans can kind of learn from, I guess, seeing a docu-series like that, and could be good for the sport, seeing that F1 had all that success with it?
Yes, hopefully the tennis series is going to be as successful or even more successful as the Drive to Survive series. I hope that the fans can see how hard the pros have to work, and how many bad moments that we have to go through, and that we were able to kind of overcome that. And then also that tennis is also a fun sport. It's also a sport that you can pick up and just enjoy with your friends and family. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a pro, but you can just go out in the park across your street and just start playing tennis. So I think just this whole series is going to grow the sport and hopefully bring in more fans to watch the professionals players, and hopefully fill up the stadiums more and more as the tournaments open up.